What is good, guys? Welcome back to the Benefit Podcast, bringing you everything you need to know about living your best life. And the title of this here episode is an interesting one. The industry that is failing you over and over and over again. And it's very, very frustrating as a coach because I love this industry. I love what I do. I love being able to help people. But unfortunately, there is a lot that's going wrong at the moment. And I think there's a few things to blame for that. I'm just going to chat through various of them in this episode because I'm sure a lot of them you can probably relate to as well. In my opinion, there's more and more dodgy, shady tactics to essentially just obtain clients. And this stems from the very, very beginning fact of people seeing this industry as just a way to make a quick buck. So many people are moving away from actually doing this because they genuinely care and they genuinely want to help. And way more people are moving towards doing this because they think it's a way to make easy money. Unfortunately, there's an awful lot of dodgy business mentors out there that are telling these people how to do that and telling these people how to do that with like some of just the worst possible tactics you can think of. And some of the stuff that I'm about to say, you can probably relate to. Like if you've ever shown any interest in any kind of fitness, and actually I say even shown any interest in fitness, there's a lot of people who you could have literally no interest in fitness, but if you like the post of somebody who has got an interest in fitness, a lot of business mentors are telling coaches to basically look through the list of people that like or follow coaches and just cold DM them hundreds and hundreds of messages a day. That very first tactic is the one that I think is what pisses most people off. Like you will, I am without doubt, you will have received messages from coaches that it's just very obviously the same message that they're sending to hundreds and hundreds of people a day. What you've probably then found is you've ignored that message and they followed up with another message and another message and another message to the point where you've probably got the tumbleweed emoji, the tumbleweed gif, some sort of yawning face or have I done something wrong type of question. This is because a lot of the coaches in this industry are basically using that as a method to obtain clients. It's just spam market people, send as many messages as possible as you can within a day before Instagram bans you from doing so. And that's the tactic they're using. There's absolutely no interest or care in the individual. There's absolutely no rapport being built. And only this morning I was talking to a lad who, I've had a bit of backwards and forwards with this lad for a while. I've offered him help when it comes to training advice. I've just been a little bit of an ear for him to vent some stuff to. And same thing he said to me this morning. Like there's a coach that follows him, and there's a coach that sort of half does the right kind of stuff, but then completely loses him at the end because it's like this particular coach he'll send him a message off the back of like a story or a post looking like it's a genuine interest type of thing, like how are you getting on with stuff, like, oh, that looks cool, whatever it might be. But he said at the end of every single conversation, that coach will leave it with, so when are you signing up for my coaching? If someone's ready to sign up for your coaching, they will tell you that. They will ask you about your coaching, your prices. They'll want to jump on a call to discuss it. You just pestering them every single time that you send them a message, basically saying, when are you getting into my coaching? You're never, ever, ever going to find clients that way. And if anything, you're actually pushing people further and further away, because even at the point where they might decide, I think I am ready for coaching now, if in the back of their mind, all they've got from you is this pester approach that they just, it's just basically left them pissed off every time they've spoken to you, they're not going to reach out. Whereas if you've actually spent time, because you genuinely want to get to know them, you genuinely care, you genuinely want to help, if they get to a point where they're like, I think now is the time, I need some help, that person's been super, super helpful so far, they haven't been pushy, I'm just going to have a chat with them and see what it's all about. That's when the best clients are going to come your way, not the ones that feel like they've been forced into coaching or had their arms twisted to do it. And that's that very first tactic that I'm seeing just over and over and over again at the moment, is just this repetitive cold marketing, sending the same message to hundreds of people, following it up with the same message when someone hasn't replied. It's just really, really painful, and it just isn't going to help at all. I don't shy away from the fact that this is how I earn my living. It is, I left a career in finance to do this for a living. It is the thing that pays my bills. But I do this job because I genuinely love it and I genuinely want to help people. And the way that I see that is the way that I'm going to earn more money, the way that my business and my income is going to grow. I need to help more people. I don't need to be cold marketing hundreds and hundreds of people on a daily basis, pestering them, bugging them, just doing everything possible to piss them off, because that's never going to help. That's never going to grow my business. Whereas I want to help, I'm more than happy to have conversations with people backwards and forwards. I'm more than happy for people to ask questions of me and for me to offer as much advice as I possibly can, because the more value that I can provide somebody completely free, when they do decide that coaching's for them, I am going to be the coach they're going to think about. And that for me is the right way that it should be. I know that, the only way that I am going to earn an income, grow my income, build my business, I have to be helping people. I have to be helping people change their lives, transform their physiques. Like, if I'm not doing that on a consistent basis, I don't deserve to grow my business, because I'm not doing the thing that I'm telling you I'm going to do. But I know I can do that. I'm very confident in my abilities as a coach. I continue to learn and invest in myself, my skill set, my knowledge. I know that I can get people to that point, and it's why I'm prepared to offer that advice. But this industry at the moment is just going down this route of basically work less and charge more. And that's another tactic that all of these dodgy business mentors are trying to encourage people to do. Charge massive amounts of money up front, try and tie people into lengthy contracts, to the point where even encouraging people to put themselves in debt to get on your coaching in the first place. You'll then be palmed off, so you won't actually be coached by that person at all, because that's the way to leverage your time. That's the way to work smarter, not harder. Everything about what people are being told in this industry is to do less and charge more. How about doing more? How about actually earning the right for that income? How about building your business the right way? Doing this job because you actually love and enjoy doing it, and not just because you think there's an easy buck to be made. And I just need, I sort of need and want people to understand that, unfortunately, there's a lot of dodgy tactics out there. There's a lot of coaches using those tactics. There are also a lot of really good coaches out there. There are coaches out there like myself who really care about you, getting you results, seeing you move in the right direction, and not bugging and pestering you to the point where you're so fed up that you're never going to invest in a coach at all, because you see the industry as just full of crooks. And that's the danger that we're getting to. There's so much of it out there that it's completely diluting the good quality stuff that is available. And I almost want to apologize on behalf of the industry, because I also don't think it's necessarily the coach's fault entirely. I've had first-hand experience of this, because I've invested in really rubbish mentors in the past. I was at a point where I wanted to grow my business, and I was sort of bought into some stuff that I was seeing on social media by a couple of different mentors, and the tactics that they were wanting me to adopt to get new business and find new clients. None of it ever sat very well with me. It just wasn't the way that I wanted to do things. It wasn't the way that I felt was the right thing to do. And it was all of those things that I've just mentioned. It was, sending hundreds of messages a day to your followers. And then once you'd run out of your own followers, trying to find new ones via looking on other coaches' list of followers to send them messages. It was charging massive amounts up front. It was almost trying to get people to, cry on a call and feel so guilty if they didn't sign up, to be putting themselves in debt, getting their credit cards out. All of these things are actually taught by people. And so I don't always think the coaches themselves are necessarily to blame. The poor business mentors are just preying on the fact that people seeing this in the wrong light. People are looking at this industry as a way to make quick money. And it isn't like that. The way that you are going to improve your income as a coach is by getting better as a coach. It's by doing more. It's by working harder. It's by giving more and more and more of a service to your clients. That's the right and proper way to do it, not through all of these dodgy tactics that you see flying around. So as I say, I can apologize on behalf of the industry, because I do think it's sort of a lot of this stuff is going down the wrong path. I do also want you to know that there are good people out there, and there are people who really do care. They really want the best for you. And I am one of them. And, if you are in a position where you're feeling a bit pissed off with the industry, but you also know that you need the help to achieve the goals that you have, please do give me a shout. Like, I'm genuinely more than happy to have a conversation. Like, I want to get to know you. I want to get to know what it is that makes you tick. I want to know what it is, like the deep reasons that you want to achieve the change, because the more of that stuff that we dig into, far more likely to get, to get where you want to be. We're going to build a good rapport. We're going to have a good relationship. And that is also going to make the coaching process that much easier for both of us. You'll get more out of it. I'll get more out of it. You're not going to feel like I've twisted your arm to be part of it. And that's a big thing. Like, that trust is massive, because if you don't trust that person, you're not going to be honest with them, then you're not really going to listen to them. And so the whole coaching process just goes completely out the window anyway. Hopefully this all makes sense, and hopefully you haven't been party to some of these dodgy tactics, but I suspect most of you have, particularly the cold messaging. Like, that seems to be rife at the moment. And yeah, just know that you'll never ever receive a cold DM from me. That's just not the way that I work. It's not how I like to do things. And in my opinion, it just isn't the best thing for the industry either. But if you do have any questions, or you would just like a conversation, please do give me a shout. You can find me on all my socials at Ben Howard Fitness. You can drop a little comment here, wherever you're watching or listening to this. I'll get back to you straight away. You can email me, ben@benhowardfitness.com. And if there's anything at all anyone needs, just give me a shout. But like, subscribe, share, all of the good stuff that I know you'll do for me, because I massively appreciate it. And I'll be back again really soon with another episode.